Put your faith in the light.
Hello guys, welcome to another one of my videos. This is Lightblade. And well guys, I did delay this video on purpose because I knew they were going to do more changes to Retribution Paladins this week, and as I thought so, they did. So they did some changes like yesterday, they did the big list of changes on Tuesday, so let's talk about all the things that happened. First and foremost guys, the Retribution Paladin, we gotta talk about that. A lot of people are calling they're nerfing us before we're even getting to live. This is just bad for Red Paladins. A lot of people are just dooming about it, and I'm telling you guys, do not worry about it. This is damage tuning. This isn't nerfs. They had to reduce the damage of our abilities. They were doing just too damn damage, you know, too much damage. Blizzard clarified they do not want to make the mistakes of the past like they did on Survival Hunters or Destrologs, you know. I don't know why people thought Blizzard was just going to make like Retribution Paladins like a meta class overnight. That wasn't the purpose of the Retribution Paladin rework. The rework was to fix issues that we have, like our weak spots, for example survivability, which it clearly did because we are going to be really damn tanky when we get the rework done. And they were also, like, the other goal was to fix the clunkiness on the build, especially the consecration build, because a lot of our damage was like 20% of our damage in AoE was built into that ability, and that felt really bad when tank had to move, you know, because you lost all that damage. So in regard of those things, the rework is a total success. You know, it fixes almost all those issues, and that was the main goal of this rework. So now let's go into what specifically changed this week. There's a list that's super long, but I'm going to talk about like the most important things. Now, okay, so let's talk about the things they changed, like the most important things they changed this week on the general Paladin tree. First of all, Sanctified Plates. Sanctified Plates is now a 2-point investment instead of 1, which is okay. You know, we still have a lot of points to spare. Like, we can put 1 extra point in Sanctified Plates because the thing is just too damn strong. You know, 10% stamina, 10% damage reduction from AoE spells. It's just too good. Yeah, the damage reduction actually on AoE spells here is not avoidance, so you can actually stack more avoidance on top of this, like 20%, and you get a total of 30, which makes it really, really powerful. You know, you're always wanting to take this talent, even as a 2-point investment. The next thing they changed is to Crusader's Reprieve. They actually reverted a nerf they did on this thing. Instead of healing for 1%, now it went back to 2%, which is really good. The next change they did is they reduced the Divine Purpose proc rate and the damage it gives on the free Holy Power Spender. You know, they said they were going to reduce the power of our damage multipliers, and they're doing this here. But don't panic. We got the damage compensated in other parts of our kit in the Retribution specific talent tree, you know. So then now let's talk about that side. Okay, so on the Retribution Paladin tree, we got also some changes. Basically, the most important one came today, and it was to Crusading Strikes. So, I told you guys they've reduced the damage of Divine Purpose. They also reduced the damage on Crusading Strikes, but don't panic. Crusading Strikes, even though it was reduced by 50%, the damage from both Divine Purpose and Crusading Strikes went actually to Expurgation. So the dot got significantly buffed, and the dot doesn't actually rely on the Blade of Justice, so it's not reduced after 5 targets. This dot will always hit to any number of targets for the full uncapped AoE value. The part that's reduced of Blade of Justice is the Blade of Justice itself, you know, the physical part. That's reduced after 5 targets. So I'm happy that they actually buffed the Expurgation part, because that gives us pretty decent uncapped AoE on that front, you know. Since we are losing Consecration, we're not losing it, but we're going to press it like less than before, and it's not doing as much damage. It's nice to have like this dot of Expurgation that we can apply to most of our targets when we use our Blade of Justice. So the next change they did is also on the node of Crusading Strikes, and it's to Templar Strikes. Now it's not a 3-part combo, it became a 2-part, and it actually hits pretty hard on both parts, but the second one is the one that hits the hardest. So it's now radiant damage, so it scales really well with other talents like Burning Crusade and Searing Light to help it proc it. The second part of the combo will always have a guaranteed 100% critical strike, and this also makes it combo really well with other stuff like Heart of a Crusader that also got changed at this patch. It now increases the damage of your Crusade strike and auto attacks by 10%, and they also do increase 10% critical strike damage. That means that the second part will get increased by flat out 10% extra damage. like I said before, this hits pretty hard. It does a lot of damage. So I'm feeling this is really decent. I actually like to play with Templar Strikes more than Crusader Strikes at the moment. So maybe Templar Strike is going to be the way to go. A lot of people say no, it's not. I don't think it's going to be, because you have to actually press a button. You know, you gotta use a global to use a Templar Strike, but it doesn't actually feel bad to press it. It's a pretty meaty ability. You know, it does damage. So the other changes that they did are, for example, some utility stuff. Justicar's Vengeance is no longer the de facto choice that you're going to take over Final Verdict, because it does now less damage than the Final Verdict. But you also have the benefit of this thing healing yourself. You know, it no longer does heal you for the full amount of the hit, but it restores 6% of your maximum health. So now it scales with your health, not with the actual hit of the damage. You know, so it's a trade-off. Probably when we get more gear and we get more health, it's going to get to a breakpoint where 6% of health is more maybe than the hit. You know, who knows? Okay, so other stuff that changed is to Vanguards of Justice. So I talked about this a lot last video, because it used to give be a 2-point talent, and each point would give your holy power spenders like an extra cost. You know, the first point was 4 cost, the second point was 5 cost holy power spenders, and each point also made them do 33% extra damage. So that was too much damage, I guess, from Blizzard. They've reduced it to only 1 extra holy power that cost, and now it deals increased 25% damage. This might actually still see play. It's a pretty decent increase in damage. Like 25% still pretty good. We also like it also goes really well with Templar Strikes, because this generates holy power on demand. Basically, your Crusader Strikes is never on cooldown with this ability, so you can actually supplement the cost of holy power from this Vanguards of Justice. But we'll have to see what simulations tell us, you know. So the other thing that they changed is they buffed the Divine Arbiter. Instead of needing 50 stacks to get the full the explosion damage, you only need 25 now, which is a lot better because it's more attainable. And well guys, that's going to be all for the video today. Remember, don't panic. There's going to be 1 more, maybe 2 more tuning passes before we get a release candidate for the Retribution Paladin Rework. Anyways guys, if you enjoy my content, subscribe to the channel and leave a like to the video. Thanks for watching everyone.